All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing fantastic. Check it out. I wanted to talk about this one because I'm a little concerned with today's, I guess, ideas in a way. And I know a lot of times I get between the Republicans and the Democrats and all that. And there's a lot of arguments, a lot of debates, a lot of things that people get into this conversation. Some people have some policies that we agree. Some people have other policies that we disagree or agree or whatever it is. But I'm going to tell you, when it comes to this, a lot of times it feels that it's really not a policy thing. To me, it's kind of like the basic fundamentals that we have as people are going away. And some of those fundamentals are like simply as working hard, right? They don't want you to work hard. They talk about giving you free money and things like that. And the reality is that the reason why they do that is because primarily they're trying to buy your vote, right? It's not because they love you. It's not because they want the best for you. It's not because none of those things. They literally wants to buy your vote. And believe it or not, some of the people will vote for a specific party based on those principles. Me, in my case, I'm a pretty conservative guy. I love God, my family, our Second Amendment, a gun, and I vote for a party that kind of reflects that. Some people may vote for a party that reflects, being lazy. I'm lazy. I don't want to get a job. Well, these guys are giving me free money and free everything. I guess I vote for them. That's just how it is. Before I continue, check it out. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to my other channels. Are linked down below. I definitely appreciate that. Obviously, you can support the channel by, liking, sharing. Share this video with somebody. Becoming a patron. Big shout out to my patrons. You guys are fantastic. Yeah. Let's do this. All right, so let me tell you something. I wanted to talk about this mass incarceration. And the real reason why is because I hear this a lot. We need to stop this. And I got a couple thoughts that I want to share on that. Everything is coming from here in my brain housing group, nothing else. I'm not an expert by any means. I'm just an American, a concerned citizen that likes to share some information. And like I say, this new society, it feels like people don't, people cannot be held accountable for. Like I say, you have parties saying we give you free money. We have parties saying we give you free housing. And you know what? In some cases, that may be okay. Really is. Older people that need help, people that are disabled that need help, people that need really help. Now, if you're a 22-year-old or a 32-year-old, you don't need no free stuff. What you need is a job and go to work. Stop being lazy. But some people that are hurt, some people that have issues, some people that have medical conditions and things like that, I definitely believe that we should help, right? But now the basic guy that just wants to get free stuff, right? But again, I'm not going to continue on this one. I hope you got the point on what I'm saying. But again, it feels like we are raising a society where you don't want people to work hard, and when you don't hold people accountable for, right? Like you don't hold people accountable to get a job and pay for the bills. You want to pay the bills because you want to buy the vote. It's the same thing with incarceration. Now, let me tell you something. There are some things that quite frankly, I just don't agree, right? If you did a horrific crime, if you, anything to do with like touching a kid or something like that, the Lord will forgive you or your sins. It really is, because he is, he is love. Like God is love. God doesn't love you. God is love. Is incapable of loving you. And it amazes me his grace and what he does for us. It truly amazes me because me, Fabian, if you touch a little girl, you could stay in jail the rest of your life. I have no sympathy for you, right? So again, there's some crimes out there that if you commit a crime, obviously you're going to be in jail and you have to pay for that. But there's other crimes that obviously, in my opinion, at one point you need to come out of jail and reestablish yourself into our community, right? And today I was having a conversation about that in particular, talking about these things. But again, there's some crimes out there that are non-violent that at one point we as society, we should be able to welcome you back into society because you already pay your debt, and we should help you become a better person, right? I think that's fair. I really do. I'm not going to change my opinion on that. Even some of the guys that commit a felony, at one point you got to have your gun rights back. At one point you got to have your rights back because let's face it, we all done dumb stuff. We really have. We all have done something that could have get you in trouble or potentially get you into something. You're not a saint. I'm not a saint. We all done stuff that is just at one point could have get you in trouble, right? Maybe you drove too fast, or maybe you were drinking and driving, something like that. Maybe you drove without a license. People out there have committed things like that all day long. So again, what I'm saying here is simple. You know what? If you go to jail and you come out of jail, you pay your debt to society. You're not a dumb kid no more. You're a man that has been working hard. You're a man that have been proving that you have a record. Hey, look, I served my 7 months in jail, but for the last 5 years, I've been doing great. At one point, we got to welcome you back into the society and help you out. I really think that it's unfair for some people to come out, they have a record, and now they cannot get a job. Now they cannot do anything they can. And a lot of those guys end up back in jail. Again, I think it's a bad system, right? But again, I'm going to tell you this right now. The Democrats are pushing this mass incarceration and they want everyone to come out of jail. Now, like I say, there are some things that I agree that people could help out, but I'm definitely don't think that mass incarceration is like a bad thing. I really don't. At one point, you got to pay for your mistakes. You really do. You're going to be held accountable to that. And that's kind of like my whole point. I know I talk a lot. I know I go all over the place. But that is my point right there. At one point, you have to pay for your mistakes. It is what it is. If you do something stupid, you're going to have to pay for it. But the problem here is that we have these people preaching to no consequences. And that's what's danger. Society needs to understand that if you do something, there's going to be consequences. Just like our children, if you're a dad out there, you know this. You tell your kids, if you do something and it's wrong, you may have to pay for the consequences. It's just how it is. If you have a society that has no consequences, what kind of societies are we going to be? If you think that anything that you do is not going to have any consequence, I mean, literally, what will we be as a society? When people think they could do anything and there won't be anything, there will be no consequences at all. So when they talk about ending mass incarceration, first of all, they do it because they want your vote. They want to buy your vote, just like I say. But when they talk about mass incarceration, we shouldn't have that. I think to myself, well, we shouldn't commit crimes. We should not commit crime. But if you commit crime, there's going to be consequences. So what you're saying is that you want to remove the consequences out of people's action. That's not okay. Really, that's not okay. And again, people talk about jail or prison and some of the mistakes or some of the things in prisons that are not fair, right? Again, if you did something horrific to a kid, I could care less. I really can. I'm trying to be as honest as I can. But if you committed a crime and you should be treated in some kind of way, in a respectful way. You go and serve your time, whatever you need, medications and things like that. Usually the state provide that stuff. But saying that you're going to end mass incarceration is saying that you're going to end consequences to your actions. And you really cannot end consequences to your actions because every action that you take is going to have consequences. So that's just how it is. If you take the consequences out of your actions, what kind of society are we going to have? And the crazy thing about this is that the Democrats are pushing for ending mass incarceration, but they're also pushing for taking away your guns. So you don't want us to have guns. You don't want people to go to jail. And you want to defund the police. That is a recipe for a disaster. I really don't know what else to say. Whoever came out with those ideas, I don't know how you became, a politician or you made it to these politicians. People that are highly educated, supposedly, defund police and incarceration so people are out of jail and take away the American citizens' right to carry a gun or to have a gun. It's insane. Really insane. A crazy person talks about that kind of stuff. So, anyways, here's the thing. Appreciate all you guys watching. You guys are fantastic. Appreciate all the support. I want to make this last statement. People go to jail, they serve the time, and they come out. And you know what? It's great. We should help some of those people get a job. And we should help them integrate back into society so they could continue to push with their life. Now, if they want to continue being committing crimes, then that's their case. Then they will be put back in jail. But saying that there's not going to be anybody going to jail is essentially saying that there will not be consequences to your actions, and that's just unacceptable. If you commit a crime, you should go to jail. That's just how it is. Let me know what you think. Put comments down below. And as always, God is in control.